Hello friends, I am your host Imran and today we are going to see the different parts of the motherboard. So let's start. Let's start with this part, this CPU central processing unit part, and we can open it. We can see here microprocessor line. This is here we can see the microprocessor. We can open it and gently we can put off it and we can see the microprocessor, the small part, it's a chip, and you can see here there's a fluid here. It makes microprocessor cool so that it will not be affected by heat. So I will put it down again. And there's a lock here. And this part you can see it's a heat sinker part which can absorb the heat from this microprocessor. What it does, whenever we on the computer, it little bit gets when we use a heavy application, it gets heated up and this part absorbs it, and when this absorbs the heat, it also gets heated, but we have here a fan which can cool down this part. So I will insert it back into its position. And there is also a other heat sinker here, which is for the whole motherboard heat sinker, because whenever we on the computer and use different applications, the motherboard gets heated up, which is hazardous for the semiconductors. So to remain it cool, we need some heat sinker so that all the heat generated by the motherboard gets absorbed by this part. So it is very important to have heat sinker in the motherboard. So this was all about the microprocessor and the heat sinkers. Now we will see this part. This is a PCI slot. Is usually used for when we want to upgrade our motherboard. For example, we want to install some different hardware part in the motherboard. So that time we can insert that part into here. For example, we want a separate NIC card, but nowadays we are seeing that it's built in here. You can see it's a built-in NIC here, but in back days there was no NIC card built in. That time what we were using, we insert a separate NIC card here, or any other computer part we want to upgrade our this motherboard. That time we insert that part here, PCI slot. This was about the PCI slot, and Now this black one, you can say this is a graphics card slot, usually used for to enhance our graphics. For example, I was watching a HD movie, but whenever I was trying to open it, it was showing nothing. It is because I was not having a good graphics card built in the motherboard, and that time I thought that if I was having a graphics card, it might work smoothly. Nowadays you may see that there are high quality movies like 4K videos, 8K videos. We need heavy graphics card like NVIDIA graphics cards. Nowadays we see that it's built in the motherboard, but if we have heavy graphics need, that time we can insert a graphics card here. So this was all about this graphics card, and now we will see this part here. This is a RAM inserted here. There's a two RAM slots. I can open it. There are little notches here. Sometimes you may have noticed that you turn on the computer and you face a blue screen on your desktop, on your monitor. That time what you have to do is put off this RAM and clean it here and keep it very clean, and it might get heated up. You need to have get it cold so that it can work properly. Now insert it back here, and you can see after you insert it back, after you clean it, you can see you don't face that blue screen again. And now we can see here these slots. These are called SATA slots, usually used for hard disk. These are SATA 0, SATA 1, SATA 2 and SATA 3. Usually we use SATA 0 for primary hard disk, for through which computers boot up the operating system. For that we use SATA 0, and secondary hard disks we can insert it on SATA 1, SATA 2 or SATA 3. There are also having this IDE connectors, integrated digital electronics. This and this are usually used for hard disks, but this SATA one is a advanced one. It has a good speed, but this IDE connector, we were using it back days, having good speed, but nowadays it has a good speed. This SATA one have a good speed, and this connector is for FDD, floppy disks, and this one is the motherboard power supply, where we can insert the motherboard power supply. And yes, this thing, this here CMOS battery inserted. Sometimes you notice that you don't have a correct date and time of your computer. It is all because of this. It gets expired and you have to install it and the new battery here, so that you will get the good time on your computer. And now we will see here this is the CPU power supply, where you can insert it here, and this you can see it's already inserted. This is a CPU fan. I can show you in that way. You can see here it's written CPU fan. Friends, I hope you like my video. Please share my videos, subscribe my videos, and please don't forget to comment. That will help me to improve my video qualities, to make more useful videos for you. Please and please subscribe my video, subscribe my channel. Thank you.